It's only a 7-pin lead right now, but Bob's working on a strike.
Sure did. That spare was literally wasted.
It came out even.
Sure did.
Ken now has a 6-pin lead, but McGill is working on a strike when he gets up.
I'm sure Ken would like to get that ball back and have another shot at it.
That was a good ball.
All right, so
real tight 1-2 pocket hit.
Ken get back on the right track. Got the strike in frame number 7. And Bob McGill now. And remember, Al, either one of our bowlers here now have a chance for the 3 strikes in a row. It's $25 on the 3rd strike and $25 for every strike thereafter. So we'll see if one of our bowlers here can hit the pot. And Bob McGill's chance goes by the boards as he leaves the split.
The 1-2 pocket hit going away was a little light, and he caught a lot of side action, but 6 and the 7 stayed up. But that ball right there will give him the lead by a couple of pins anyway. And he tried to slide it over.
All right, he'll be working for the wood now. He's taking a 2-pin lead, 82 to 80 through 6 frames, but Bob Wilkinson already has his strike in frame number 7, so it's a 1-pin lead. Ken just turned around and said, Lee, I'm Ken, not Bob. Bob is bowling. So I apologize to Ken.
And that one was a little bit light 1-3, and he got the reverse of what he had the last box. He has the 4-10 up there now.
It's a tough split either way. He's got to slide the pin to the far left, and he's got to hit it thin enough to get it over, and yet you can hit it too thin and pass it in front.
I think with the angle that he comes after, he might have a better shot at hitting the right-hand side of the 4-pin and slapping it off the left sideboard.
I think that's what he was trying to do, but he just didn't get the ball over there. So Ken Wilkinson now has the open door.
He carries one. He's now, it's a tie game right now with Ken filling his strike. So whatever Ken gets on his strike will be his lead.
And now with an opportunity to try for the 3 strikes in a row. And boy, that looked like a good one.
That pin coming across, I thought it was going to carry at least one of them.
Instead, he leaves the 2-pinner.
The dreaded 6-10 split, I call it.
A lot of ways to miss this one.
Oh, I know them all.
So Ken aims in. There's one way.
Yeah, he almost came back. But he's opened up a 9-pin lead.
Ken now working for the 10 box. And he has hit that, so he now has the 9-pin lead going into frame number 9. And it's still anybody's match. Bob certainly is still close enough. Ken would like to keep the pressure on. Mark here would certainly help out his cause.
1-2 pocket.
And leaves a solid 5.
Solid 5. That's a good ball. That's a good one. You leave the 5-pin, that's a real good ball. I think he was happy the 9-pin went down.
Taking aim on the 5-pin now, Ken Wilkinson. And right there, flat on the head. So that's going to make it tough for Bob McGill now to come back.
That forces Bob to, he has to throw 2 marks now. He can't depend on Ken to have another 1 fill, because that's just not going to happen, I don't think. Bob will need 2 marks to put any kind of pressure at all on Ken. Ball's up there.
Good ball, and might catch it. No, it dies in the
channel.
In the channel. This is a big spare here, a very important spare for Bob McGill. This will keep him in the game. Good experience for a nice young bowler.
Yep. And he'll be around a lot. He'll be around a lot.
And even though he missed it that time, Al, we all know that Bob McGill, with the number of games he's throwing a year, we're going to see him again.
I don't know how his arm does it. I threw 4 leagues last year, blew my arm out.
That's a lot of bowling, boys. 6, 7 leagues. All right, so Bob McGill now. Door's still not shut. Double here or a triple, and still mathematically possible.
He's going to have to throw strikes. And again, he broke up the split that time. Another 7-pin.
Well, his maximum score right now could be 130. And of course, if he did that, it still would force Ken to concentrate up there and get his wood.
Yeah, some strange things have happened in this game.
And I think we've seen them all on our show at one time or another.
And again,
he missed it the same way.
Same way.
Went by it on the left-hand side. The ball just falling off.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut away in a rush at the end of this match. When we return for our women's match, we'll see Donna Carlson, who we've seen many times before, defending her 5th seed position against the winner from last week. And I wanted to mention very quickly, because they deserve plenty of credit, our 2 Carols today. Carol Deschamps, who actually will be a participant in our television tournament a month from today, but today she is responsible for the TV scoreboard that you're watching. This week, the TV scoreboard is in blue. And Carol Del Santo is keeping the sanction score for the Rhode Island Duckpin Bowlers Association. So there's Carol to our viewers left and Carol to our viewers right. One keeping the scoreboard you see, and the other keeping the scoreboard that goes in the record books. Both members of the board of directors of the Rhode Island Duckpin Bowlers Association. And gee, we've got an all RIDBA show. Here's Al Zorian, Carol Del Santo, and Carol Deschamps.
And our winner, Ken Wilkinson, and he'll move on. And we're going to be back with our next match after a word from our tournament sponsors. It would be quite a match. These 2 ladies have gone at it many, many times before, both on our show, and they bowled against each other in leagues and matches. Donna Carlson challenging our winner from last week, Laurie Cabral. And of course, Donna is an old TV star now. She's been on our show a number of times before.
That's right. She's a 2-time winner, #1 ranked woman bowler for this past season. Hard-working bowler, and I don't know if I really had the chance to thank her for helping me at the mixed doubles finals. She worked with me for a couple of shows, and she did a nice job. She hung me in there with the A-bars and the Browns. I'm still losing sleep over those people.
All right, so Donna starts off with a 10. And Laurie Cabral now, after winning her match last week against Debbie LaCroix, her first frame. And we're here at Max Bowlaway on Main Street in West Warwick. And if you've never tried duckpin bowling before, stop on down, say hello to the LaCroix family, and tell them how much you appreciate having duckpin bowling on TV. And while you're here, you and the family throw a few games. Great winter sport, great summer sport.
All year round. All year round. You stay warm in the winter, you stay cool in the air conditioning in the summer.
And I see Mike Davis here creeping into our booth, and he has a cookbook in hand.
Oh, let us hear about this, Michael.
Well, we introduced it last week, although it's no news to people who've tuned into Pat Grattan for the past year. Pat Grattan does her regular television program every morning on cable television and on WNRI radio. She does a home economist program evenings on cable TV, and she's now published her 2nd cookbook, Among Ourselves 2, and we have that cookbook as a gift for all of our women bowlers this month.
And all the while, I thought he was going to take us home and cook us dinner. All right, Laurie has a 9 in her 2nd frame.
It won't be necessary for me to cook your dinner, because if you just cozy up to any one of our duckpin bowling participants, they've all received a Table for 2 dining club membership, courtesy of Ben Weiss and the Charles Street Oyster House, one of the participating restaurants who offer more than 75 complimentary dinners throughout 1986 in return for Table for 2 membership, available to anyone, but a free gift to our duckpin bowlers this week.
And boy, I'll tell you, Mike, there are some fine restaurants on that list. Mike, where can our viewers get one of those tables for two? We give them out to all of our participants here. Where does our viewers
have only to make a phone call? 351-7424. 351-7424. They'll give you all the details. You can have the cards sent to anyone you want as a gift. I can't tell you the price, but I can tell you that it's extraordinarily reasonable and that it's less expensive than any other dining club you can join, and it's better accepted because it's a dining club that's operated by the participating restaurants, such as Barbara's Ristorante Italiano on Elmwood Ave in Cranston. I've been there many times, and that's a wonderful place. If you haven't tried that yet, you've missed something.
That is a great place, Mike. You took me there for dinner one night, that I recall. All right, we finally have our first mark of the match as Donna Carlson spares in the third frame. And now Lori Cabral on the right side. We have a dead even match here through the first two boxes.
Once again, Lori leaves a two-pinner. She caught a real bad break the last box. She had the 4-7 and took the front pin out. Something I'm familiar with. And now she's going after the 6-10. See if she'll negotiate that two-pinner.
And she pulls it from the outside out. Had to get it off the wall. Looks the same on paper, doesn't it?
Sure, looks like she hit him right in between.
That's right.
So we got a dead even match here for through three boxes.
Sure is, and it should be a close match all the way down the line.
It's a good ball. Solid 9-pin.
And once again, we see Lori wearing that appliance. I've talked with Lori before, and I have to tell you, that is not an endorsement. She wears that appliance because she needs it. As you can see, she throws that ball with considerable force.
She takes her one pinner.
Mike, I'm beginning to wear one of those too. No endorsement because I haven't been on TV with it yet, but it has helped me out. Like I said, last year I really hurt myself bowling the right arm, and now it's given me some added strength. I can go back to heavier balls now, and I'm throwing a lot better.
I'll tell you. Oh, look at that. That's Donna Carlson. I'll tell you, I was thinking of going up to Paramount Bowling Supply, where they have a complete line of all kinds of bowlers' aids like that up in Medway, Mass. Although you don't have to go there. You can just go to your local pro shop and any one of the participating Duckpin bowling centers, and they have the complete line in the catalog. But what I wanted to know is, will it help me to hold my arm and hand straight so that I'm not dropping the ball off to the right or left side?
It did me. It does have that effect. For me, like I said, it just turned the whole game around for me. I needed something, and Lori told me about this. And
so why didn't you qualify this month? Why are you sitting on this side of the cameras?
That's just what I said too. Why didn't I? Couldn't get it started this month. Couldn't get it started last month. But I'll be back.
All right, and Lee, I'm going to apologize for you. Lee's right here with us. He hasn't gone away, but Lee has managed to come down with his annual spring cold. I think you think he'll live?
If I disappear once in a while, Mike, I'll be back.
Listen, it's only Valentine's Day. You have plenty of the year left to catch cold. Please stay healthy for the next 4 weeks. From Max Bowlaway in West Warwick.
And Lori Cabral gets her strike.
Lori takes the lead back. We got a seesaw battle going here.
Sure is.
Went from one pin down to 1 pin up, and now it's a 2-pin lead plus her fill on the strike.
And boy, we're just having a tough time by giving away $25 bills here.
But I'll tell you something. This may well be the first couple of weeks in succession where our women's averages are going to exceed our men's averages on TV.
We've had some fine games. Well, Lori misses the 10-pin.
Yeah, the reason why we had to reset that one was that the ball came out of the channel, and as soon as the ball touches the channel without hitting any live wood, those pins do not count. Anything that falls down. so we had to reset the pin.
It's all right if it comes out, Al, if it hits the pins first.
That's right.
And then comes back out of the channel and takes other pins, then it's okay.
In fact, there is a most recent rule, I guess it was last year's rule book that was instituted, that if a ball hits a pin and bounces off the back cushion and comes back, it is now a live ball. A lot of people aren't aware of that. But it was a new rule, and I think it was because it happened so often down south that they figured they'd put it in the rule book.
Well, of course, now with these hard throwers we have also, you get that ball from bouncing back off that kick plate in the back pretty easily today.
Yeah.
And it was getting a little tough to decide whether the ball did anything first and then come back, or...
Yeah, one of the major arguments, I think, even in basic league bowling, was did the ball go off the plate? So now you see a lot of times, especially when they shoot the four horsemen, either 1-2-4-7 or 1-3-6-10, you hit the pocket, and usually, a lot of times, before the ball hits the corner pin, it'll slap off the sideboard.
Yep,
and come
that's
back.
right.
So to avoid any confusion, they put the rule in.
All right, we're through 6 frames right now, and Laurie Cabral sporting a 10-pin lead over Donna Carlson. And a 10-pin lead certainly is not comfortable.
Now with Donna up there.
And that's the reason why she picks the 7-pin. So she'll keep the pressure on Laurie Cabral. She's not going to let Laurie off the hook with a 10-pin lead. Laurie's going to have to match that spare to hold on to that lead. And she leaves a solid 10. And now she's got to be thinking a little bit. She missed the 10-pin in the previous frame. Let's see what she does with this one.
She did it again. She
let it hang out there, didn't she?
She flared her arm out. That's tough to do with that thing on her arm.
Kind of try to steer it into the corner instead of that nice smooth motion.
See how straight her arm was in that second one, and the ball went right there. So now it now becomes an interesting match. I mean, not that it wasn't before, but it's even more interesting now because it's 10 pins minus Donna's fill.
Well, let's see. We've had we've had 3 lead changes here so far, if I count right. 1, 2, 3. This will be the 3rd lead change if she doesn't get some kind of spare up there. And boy, it's going to be a tough one to convert.
She gave it a shot.
Nice try, Laurie.
And this pin's important. It's a 10-pin lead. Donna's going to have to throw a strike to tie in that box.
That time she went at a little different angle.
Yeah.
Moved a little bit over to the center. And
she even said it. She even let us know that she tried the in-shoot that time.
Change the angle of attack.
And I'll tell the viewers who haven't yet gone to bowl at Max Bowlaway here on Main Street in West Warwick, where we originate from all this month. I've been here for weeks now setting up all of the television cameras and angles, and there is something unusual about this house. The masking unit, you can't see this when you watch on television. The masking unit is considerably further forward than the masking unit at any of the other duckpin bowling centers in the state, and it's deceptive. Perhaps not when you're shooting at the full rack, but certainly when you go to pick one of the corner pins, the 7 or 10, I believe it can take some time adjusting your angle because you misjudge the length of the lane.
Yep.
And you'll have to come here to Max to understand what I'm talking about, but it fools the eye for the first few boxes till you adjust to it.
That's one adjustment that I really didn't have to worry about when I started here because I don't look at the pins when I bowl. But once upon a time when I used to, when I come to Max, I felt like the pins were really up close. I felt really comfortable when I used to be watch the pins when I bowled.
Now, maybe you better explain to those viewers out there who've never bowled before that you don't look at the pins. What do you look at?
I look at maybe that's why I don't make it. No, I look at the arrows.
You're called a spot bowler,
yes.
right? You pick a spot on the lane, you drop the ball on,
That's
and
right.
let the ball work its way into the pins.
Yeah, I try to adjust my position on the approach and try to go over the same spot, almost like a 10-pin bowler does.
Yes, and for people who bowl, whether they bowl candle pin or 10-pin or duck pin, as you know, there are pieces of mahogany hardwood set at the head and at the end of the lane, and you may, if you wish, choose to bowl by lining your approach up with those arrows or dots.
All right, and Donna Carlson lined up the arrows properly that time, picked the 1-pinner.
Donna's down 8 pins right now, but she does have a mark, and she has put a little bit of pressure on Laurie in the 9th box.
And it looks like this one's going to go right to the end.
Laurie leaves the 7th pin. She's been leaving a lot of corners, just like we said.
I think she'd rather see that one than the 10 right now.
Yeah. She's had her fun with the 10 pin. Yep. Now she's going to have fun with the other corner.
Probably feel a little more confident.
Before Laurie picks this spare, gentlemen, did we take a break in this match yet?
No, we haven't. Would you like to do it right after this?
As soon as she makes this spare. You see me wishing her luck?
Good.
Now we'll take a break for our tournament sponsors, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of this squeaker.
Both of our ladies have marks in the 9th frame. Laurie Cabral sporting an 8-pin lead. And this is her final frame, and ooh, Al, that one could hurt bad.
Well, if she gets all of her wood, she's going to force Donna to get on the mark, because the lead is conceivably 11 pins. And that's what Laurie's working on. Laurie's working on making it. Never mind getting all her wood.
What a try.
Well, right now she forces Donna to mark.
That was a big second ball right there. That really made the difference in picking her 10 box here. Gave her the opportunity to save all the wood. Makes that 3 count on the spare. And she does pick it, so down to the last frame. And Donna has her fate in her own hands.
That's right, she needs a mark. A mark of any kind.
Whoever wins this match will return next week to face Anne Coder.
1-2 side.
Oh, no. You'd always like to see the bowler at least have a chance now, especially with a good pocket hit.
Well, stand by. Now, we know Donna is a protege of Mary and Carol Cook, who've worked with so many fine women bowlers at Hearthside Lanes on Putnam Pike in Greenville. I wouldn't be surprised to see Donna bring this one back.
Boy, she had the right idea. That's a tough spare.
Oh, that's tough. 5-7 or 5-10 by themselves is tough.
That's right.
Then you got to hope for the pin to come all the way back.
So Laurie Cabral will go on and be back next week.
Where's Don Gillis when you need him?
And
all right, we have to take a break for these messages, and we will be right back with today's challenge match.
Today, week number 2, stop number 6. And we're at Max Bowlaway in West Warwick on Main Street. And our final match, we'll have Ken Wilkinson, the winner of our first match today. And he'll be going against Sal Gentile.
Very nice, Sal.
And Sal is also well known to our TV audience.
Yeah, he's a multiple winner, isn't he? He's won twice on the on our Duckpin bowling show.
Yes, he has.
And he's a member of the Pro Tour.
Sal has a high game of 232 and a high 3-game set of 566.
He comes out with a 10 box.
All right, so Sal is missing the 1-pinner in his first frame. He finishes with a 10. And Ken Wilkinson, who was the victor in our first match today against young Bob McGill. And Ken certainly knows he has his hands filled with Sal Gentile. That's right.
Ken caught a reasonably decent break on an off-the-head pin hit, 1-2-7. He's going to shoot the 1-2 pocket.
And a little past the head pin, so he's going to have the 1 and the 7 pin left.
And now's a good time early in the match to remind everybody that the winner of the match you're watching now will return in 4 weeks to challenge James Caton. And you'll remember, if you were among our viewers at that time, that a couple of months ago we saw Jim bowl at the Bowling Academy on TV.
That's right. So Ken Wilkinson and Sal Gentile working their way now up the ladder to that championship round, and this is the final match today.
I don't want to say anything. I've seen Ken make the 7-10 in this place. I think he did it against me once.
I don't think we've ever seen it done on TV yet. So Ken had a chance to do it for us the first time, and you have to bring it back out of the back plate There's just no other way to slide it over, I don't think.
No.
Anyway.
I've seen it go very light, 7-pin on the right-hand side off the left sideboard and slide all the way across. Once I've seen that happen.
But most of the bowlers, of course, try and hit it to bring it back out of the backboard and into either the 7 or the 10. Sal just looks a little tight right now, Al. He just needs that first mark to loosen him up.
Yeah.
Sal's a 2-time winner on our show, going for his third victory. It's a long way up through the qualifying tournament and then through the elimination to meet the top seed in the championship round. And I think you have Sal's qualifying scores there.
Okay. Sal Gentile tied for 6th in the qualifier with a 735. He's listed as number 7 by our first tiebreaker, and that is highest game. His high game was 161. He threw 5 very consistent scores to get there. He averaged 147 in the qualifier.
Nice job, Sal.
All right, there's the first mark for Sal Gentile.
He just made a tough one, too.
He sure did. And those are the kind that kind of get you going.
Yeah. You make one of those, you figure, well, that's one I really shouldn't have, and I have it, so I'm going to try to use it.
Sal is another one of the bowlers that also throws a lot of strikes, and he throws the same type of reverse spin that we've seen from some of our other bowlers, Gary Manson, and a few of our other bowlers. But Sal does get a lot of action either side of the head pin.
Ken's, I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to force the ball. He's right, he's left. He's doesn't seem as smooth as he was in this first match.
Well, the one thing that all the good bowlers tell you to do is not to start steering it, and that's what Ken looks like he's doing. I'm sure he needs that first one to get back on track and get loose and let the ball flow freely out of your hands.
He's going to start it now because Sal has opened up a 3-pin lead, plus the fill in his spare. Once again, Kenny is off to the left.
Not very satisfied with himself.
No, he shook his head. He knows he's doing something up there, and now it's really tough with a 1-game match to try to correct yourself and try to turn it around.
Well, that's just it. When you get that 1 game, you know you don't have that kind of time, so you start to push a little bit, and that's what Ken looks like he's doing right now. So he needs a break here, a mark, or a strike to kind of get him back on track.
He made a nice 10-box.
Sure did. And we're going to cut away for a moment for a word from our tournament sponsors, and we'll be right back. A 3-pin lead plus the 9 count there, so that's going to move Sal to a 12-pin lead through 3. Now shooting at the 10-pin. And this is a little easier for Sal to hit because of the type of ball he throws than the normal right-hander.
That's right. His ball.
He can bring the ball. Yep, bring the ball into the 10. He can start out a little bit more to the center of the lane than most right-handers would have to do. Now working on the spare that he's posted in frame number 4. 12-pin lead. Plus the count on this first ball.
It's a little right. Carries 4.
Cleans out the right-hand side. Ball took out the 3, 9, 6, and the 10, so not a good fill. Played it safe to the inside. Will now work for the wood, so he makes that 4 drop count. Gets his 10, so Sal will move to 62 through the first 5 frames to Ken Wilkinson's 36 through 4.
I know it's a little early in the match, but Ken's going to have to throw 2 marks right now to close this thing back up in a hurry.
Well, he also needs him for his confidence, too, Al. I think he's starting to get down on himself a little bit and needs something here to help him along. And again, he came by the head pin on the left-hand side.
Yeah, his arm's going right across his body right now.
And he tried the basketball pitch again.
Not quite the same results as the last time.
Do you think he's become a little conscious of that line?
I don't know. That first game when he filled with one, he seemed to have grabbed his leg, and I don't know whether that's a problem. I didn't have a chance to speak with him about it, but he doesn't really seem fluid up there. He's
really forcing it now at this point in time.
It's like all arm now. He's not getting his legs involved at all, and I don't know whether he hurt himself.
Okay, Ken up on the left-hand side here.
That's a good ball.
That was a good mixed ball. Good action. That's probably the best ball he's thrown in this match against Sal, and laid the ball down nicely. It's an important spare for me. He's got it, so maybe Ken now can get on track here and get started and hopefully cut into the lead that Sal has managed to build up through the first 5 frames, which right now is 18 pins.
Well, Ken's going to have to hope for opens right now for Sal. I just don't think he's going to get them. Sal doesn't get too many opens in a row.
Especially when he gets ahead.
That's it. Oh, you throw a lot different ball when you're 18 pins ahead.
Put the old 1040 weight oil in your arm and let it fly, right?
And Sal has this one.
There he goes. So Sal pulls the 1-pinner.
And matches the mark for Ken.
So he'll maintain that 18-pin lead. And we'll see what Sal does with his spare here. Frame 6. That was a classic 1-3
hit.
3 side for Sal Gentile. Leaving the 5-pin. You can see the concentration in Sal's face. He has zeroing in on the 5. And missed accurate. When he starts picking 1-pinners, it's all over.
It's 9 and 1, 9 and 1. It gets monotonous.
It's like a machine.
Ken has to fill big now just to even to match what Sal has already done.
Yeah, that's tough when you're not throwing well. Oh, well, okay. Well,
he gained a pin.
Ken maybe found the spot again. Still trailing by 17, but he's got the strike now posted. Needs another one to climb back close.
Well, he still has room to just mock it. To a nice tight 1-2 pocket hit and left the 6-10. Ken's going to have to concentrate on the 6-pin now. If you rip it out, you rip it out, but you got to make sure you hit the object pin on this ball.
He's going to go, and we've seen him do that earlier today also. Pulling out the 10-pin, the 6 there, and that was a very big miss.
And now's a good time to remind our viewers that either Ken or Sal, the winner of this match, will be returning in 3 weeks, as will last week's winner, Gary Manson, for our double championship challenge. 3 weeks from today, it'll be either Ken or Sal challenging Jim Caton, and Gary Manson, who you remember won last week by defeating Lou Sarkisian, will come back to challenge Steve Iavarone. So everyone stay tuned 3 weeks from today.
That should be a fun match. I don't know if I envy anybody bowling against Steve Iavarone, but we certainly enjoy bringing it to you. And Sal Gentile just coasting along now. Drops the 8. Picks the 4-7 pin for the spare. And is about ready to close this match up here.
Sal's up 17 right now, and a reasonable fill will force Ken to double.
Yeah! Out of ball. And Sal Gentile with the stick of dynamite.
That's it. That ball he got out a little bit further than the other. He blew the 5 out that time. On the left-hand lane, he left the 5-pin twice on really nice 1-3 pocket hits. That one he got out just a little bit more than the other ones, and he just blew the 5 out. Along with everything else.
Well, he's strung 4 in a row now together. 3 spares and a strike. And Ken Wilkinson is going to come up a little bit short here.
It looks like it. Ken makes the spare.
He's going I moves him to 102 through 9, plus this fill.
Well, the best Ken can do is 142 if he triples here. 142 and $25.
Please don't mention that. Mike gets a little... Well, up. There's the first one. Mike, get the 25 ready. Here he comes.
142 and $25.
It will be our pleasure. The producers award $25 cash on the spot to anyone who rolls 3 strikes in a row, whether they win or lose the match, and an additional $25 for each and every consecutive strike thereafter.
All right, let's see if Ken, maybe that... Nope, well, Ken's going to go by the board. It sure would have been nice to see Ken do it, especially in a losing effort.
It's true.
So...
He finishes 131, and that was a real great finish. He only had 44 in the 5th box, so he had a real great second half.
He sure did. A real scrambling finish, but up a little short here to Sal Gentile.
Well, Ken may have missed the $25, but as we all know by now, every one of our bowlers receives a complimentary membership in Table for Two, Rhode Island's newest discount dining card program, courtesy of Ben Weiss. Table for Two featuring 75 complimentary meals for a single low annual membership fee. And there's no membership fee for our bowlers because they've all been provided with Table for Two cards for 1986, courtesy of Ben Weiss.
And Sal's just flowing along while we're talking over here. He just made the 169-10 for a spare. What a tough shot.
Yeah, we're going to see that again on instant replay, and you can see what a real difficult shot that was.
So you have to make sure that you hit the right-hand side of the head pin and carry 6-9-10 at once. That's tough to do.
There's an unusual one. Yeah. Good place to leave that. So as Sal finishes with a 156. And Mike, over to you.
We're going to come back after this word from our tournament sponsors with a swell presentation for this week's match.
What's the #1 name in duckpin bowling balls? Paramount. What's the #1 name?
2, Max Bowlaway in West Warwick. Remember, there's 4 more weeks coming up for Max, but right now, let's close out week #2 by thanking our qualifying participants. Lee?
Thank you, Mike. And we did have some great matches today. And first of all, our 3rd finisher today, Bob McGill. Bob, congratulations. And we have a nice plaque for you. And Roger, of course, has something more important, a cash award.
I need it.
Congratulations,
Let's not forget that Bob gets one of our Table for Two complimentary membership cards, 75 free dinners at participating restaurants for all of 1986.
Terrific. You can take Mike and I out all week this week. How's that? Bob, thank you. We'll see you again, I'm sure. And you know, Mike, there's one nice thing about having Ken on the show. We're changed. We have a bowler that has less hair than I do.
But not much.
Well, listen, Ken, a great match. Congratulations to you. There we go. And, of course, Roger has your cash award. And Michael has the...
check from the RIDBPA, a terrific plaque from Perella's Paramount Bowling Supply in Medway, Mass., and your membership in Table for Two, the discount dining club for all of 1986. Thanks very much for participating.
Thank you, Ken. And finally, our winner of today's match and the opportunity to come back in our final championship round, a gentleman we've seen many, many times before, Sal Gentile. Sal, congratulations, Sal, and you got a chance to come on back. Why don't you turn right around here, stand next to Mike.
And Sal, I'm going to give you one of the 2 checks that Roger LaCroix is holding. I'm going to give you one of the 2 trophies from Paramount Bowling Supply that I'm holding, but you're going to have to come back in 3 weeks to face Jim Caton and earn your choice of these 2 trophies. So, you want to come back?
Oh, yes, yeah.
We're all going to stay tuned to see what happens next week. And